Meanwhile, the latest COVID-19 numbers include 2 from Mandera County. And now 14 people in that county have been quarantined after they came into contact with the 2 patients. Officials are now tracking down all the contacts of the duo that had traveled from Kilifi through Mombasa. This development comes amid a similar search in Nakuru for 21 other people who traveled in the same bus with a COVID-19 patient from Mombasa to Nakuru. Raquel Muigai reports on the daunting search and the worst fears of health officials.
With the number of cases now rising rapidly, the latest cases in Mandera are causing new worries about the virus spreading to far-flung corners of the country. The 2, a brother and a sister aged 20 and 22, left Kilifi on the morning of 29th March, heading to Mandera. They arrived in Mombasa on the very day and spent a few hours in town before leaving for Nairobi with the evening bus. On the 30th, they arrived in Nairobi and spent a night at a hotel in Isli. On the 31st of March, they left Nairobi aboard the marker bus on seats that have been given as number 13 and 14. The bus had a brief stopover in Mwingi to pick and drop passengers. They proceeded on their journey and had another stopover in Garissa for lunch. The bus then left for Ajir, but because of the curfew, they spent the night at Lehele, a 10-minute drive to Ajir. On the 1st of April, the bus left Lehele heading to Ajir town where they took their breakfast. The bus then left to Ajir the very morning, making a brief stopover in Kutulo before the 2 arrived in Mandera on the 2nd of April and headed straight to their parents' home. For the next 2 days, the 2 stayed at home, but on the 5th of April, they started having COVID-19-like symptoms and were rushed to a nearby clinic in Mandera.
Mandera County COVID-19 team has embarked on contact tracing, and the first 14 persons are under quarantine, and the process of identifying other contacts vigorously is ongoing through investigation of the passenger manifest jointly with the bus management, and thereafter contact of the passengers who have who were on that bus.
The governor urging all those who travelled on the same bus on the 31st of March to present themselves or self-quarantine to avoid further spread of the virus. A concern shared in the neighbouring county of Garissa, which is a key transit point for the northern part of the country.
The county is considered high risk among other 13 counties in this country, and that calls for very huge responsibility on the part of the population. So my appeal to the people is that something should change in the way we live our lives. And this is the time.
In Nakuru County, a similar tracing nightmare. Police now looking for 21 people who travelled by a Dreamliner bus from Mombasa to Nakuru, with one of the passengers who tested positive for COVID-19 about a week ago. Rift Valley Regional Commissioner George Natembeya says that the 21 people risk being arrested if they do not present themselves by this evening.
We are going to look for them. They are going to be arrested. Now watapelekwa quarantine center by force, watakaa pale after 14 days. Kama hawana COVID, watapelekwa kotini.
The Dreamliner bus left Mombasa on 26th March and arrived in Nakuru on 27th March at 7 a.m. Raquel Muigai, Citizen TV.